let's keep talking about winter 2024 new releases. This is the third one I watched. This is Sasaki and Peeps. This was interesting. So this was a 48-minute release. So almost double what a regular episode is. And this is an isekai, but it's different. A little different to like your regular isekai. Because he doesn't... So basically, Sasaki here is just your average late 30s salary man in Japan. Works a low-paying job, works very hard, is actually a very, very nice person, highly respected by all his co-workers, and is a very soft, gentle person. He has a secret love of dogs and cats. His ultimate dream is to own a golden retriever, but where he lives is too small and he's very, very poor, so he can't afford one. So he'd like to get a cat because he thinks, well, I can't afford a golden retriever, so I'll get a cat. Comes to find out, he probably can't even afford a cat either. And he saves up and he saves up, and he goes to the pet store and he's disappointed to see that he can't afford a cat. And he's about to leave and he hears someone going, pick me, pick me. And it's Peeps, which is the little bird on his shoulder. Now, he takes Peeps home because Peeps is a Java sparrow, cute little version of a bird. And he doesn't realise that Peeps is actually a reincarnation of a powerful being from another world. Star Sage, I believe it is. Anyway, Peeps and Sasaki hit it off straight away. Peeps gives Sasaki a very tiny part of his power. And so now Sasaki is basically magical. And so what they do is so fucking clever. So Peeps is able to transport between the world they came from and modern Japan. And so that's what they do. And because Sasaki is broke as shit, he decides to start trading modern stuff from his world with this world, which is set more in, not quite medieval, but, a typical fantasy land. That goes well. His entire plan is to just live a slow, easy life. He goes back to that world where he's quite wealthy. He eats well. He opens a restaurant. He does well in his trading, goes up in the ranks, starts to trade with nobles. Everything's going great over there. In his life, his modern life, his kohai, which is like his subordinate, ends up creating their own startup with a bunch of other young professionals and leaves their company. He kind of wants Sasaki to go with him, but Sasaki doesn't want to because, honestly, he wants to maintain an easy life where he's at. And unfortunately, on his way back from the leaving party for his kohai, he runs into a man attacking a woman. And being the kind, good person he is, he's like, I can't just walk away. Like, I'm not going to, leave this woman to be, God knows what, something terrible anyway. And so one of the things he learned to use in his magic power was to throw icicles. So he throws an icicle at the guy attacking the woman and stabs him. But he can't control his power very well because he's only just learned it a few days before. And the ice starts to spread through the man's body. He's almost going to kill him. And then the woman stops it, arrests the guy, and then basically strong arms him into going with her. Turns out she's a field agent for a secret government agency, and she's a psychic. Now, the interesting thing here is psychics exist in the modern world of Japan in this story, and they have, in general, they only have one power each. So her power is she can manipulate water. She can change temperatures, form everything, but she can't manifest it. He tells her, even though he actually can use different... Sorry, let me backtrack again. So he's a little different. He's not a psychic because he was granted magical power by Peeps. And so he can actually summon all manner of magic. He's still learning, but so far I think he learned how to manipulate earth, fire, water. I sound like I'm talking about Avatar, right? Anyway, so he can do that, but he doesn't tell her that. He says, I can manipulate ice. Because he doesn't want them knowing all his powers for good reason. And she thinks that's great because she's like, well, great, now you could be my colleague and you could be my source of water. And he's just like, hey, what happened to my quiet life? So he essentially gets strong-armed into joining this government agency as an agent. And the section chief of this agency is a little suspicious. So we'll see where that goes. But overall, Yes, that's the basic premise of the story. And I'm really enjoying it. I like that it's very different, that there's not just one element of like isekai, it's multi-layered. And I like the dynamic between Sasaki and Peeps. It's very, very cute. It's very wholesome. Sasaki is just a really nice guy, just a really, really nice person. And he loves cats and dogs and all sorts of. I just really like him as a character, and I like his dynamic with Peeps. And the teenage girl stood next to him is his neighbor. Seems like she's got kind of a rough home life. She's always sat outside her house because they live in a tiny like one room apartment in a small block. And she's always outside. She said something like, "Oh, she's brought a man over." So I think there's something difficult going on, and he's always just nice to her. He gives her snacks and says hello to her, etc., etc. I think there's going to be something about her in the story. I have my suspicions she might be psychic. That's just me surmising. I've not read. I don't know if there's a manga or a light novel for this, but I haven't read anything about it. All I know is what I've seen. So that's just my very early assumption. This video is longer than I wanted it to be, but I really, really liked this a lot. And again, here I am sat saying I'm not into isekai, but I'm loving this. And I'm really excited to see where this story goes because it's quite interesting. I think there's going to be like a clash between the worlds is my assumption. I also think his life is not going to stay very quiet. But yeah, this is Sasaki and Peeps, and I will be watching this weekly as well. Thanks for watching.